Good morning and sliding in the afternoon. Nana here, also known as Judy Allen in San Antonio, Texas. And yes, this Nana is home, but we're still celebrating our 25th anniversary week. And we still have family here as well, too. And we still have some more family activities to finish out this week. So we are live, and there are real live people in this house, just FYI, besides me. So today we are going to, this is the last alternative we're doing for this kit because Sunday Zoe and Ann will be live at 4 o'clock p.m. So be sure to put an emoji, comments, or whatever you want, because that's how we identify a name to be put in the drawing for the free giveaways on Sunday. Whoop whoop, that's what it's all about, right? So with that, we're going to be making a quick and easy card. It's going to be a similar layout as you've seen in the way that we do the fun fold, but we're going to change some other things that we make with the card because it's all about quick and easy. And this Nana owes some thank you cards for all the events from this week. All right, let's go down the hands and let's do this. Right? Okay. So these are ones that this is all I have left of all the cards I've made already because I had some to mail out on Father's Day. So just want to show you the different things that we still have, and I can still use this one, right? And I can use this too. I can use them all, really, right? But thank you cards, I can use it. So I did use today, you can see I have used this die right here. And this was the one that, this die set is only available through Paper Pumpkin subscribers. I used it, and it is for 3 months. So the next quarter, when you talk about June, July, and August, is that right? I might be off. But anyway, they come out 3 at a time, so actually May was the last one. So the next one should be June, July, and August. So there you go. Alright, so here's what we got here. So I've taken some of the leftover stuff I'd already done from the weeks before that I set aside for a rainy day, and today's that rainy day. Alright, so we have a circle we're going to be using that I already pre-cut out. And I'm just going to go ahead and put that down and get that out of my way. And I'm going to use my runner instead of my glue dots, because I will use my glue dots for other things. And you know what? I just run it across my hand, and it just works just fine. And that's what I do. Okay? So we're going to put this down. I'm going to put it in the center. And I'm going to show you what we did with the leftover pieces from weeks before and what we're going to do with them. Okay? I'm just going to put it right there in the center because something's going to be on it. Okay? Alright. So actually, this was some scraps we had from the week or weeks before. And we were playing around with them, and look how cool is that, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do with this is the leftover piece too. You can see this right here, the score line. This is the leftover piece from last week. And we're not going to worry about that because we're going to cover it, and then when we get through covering it, we're going to adhere it. We'll trim it, and then we'll adhere it to the front of the card. So we're just going to go ahead and do this. And we're going to adhere it down. We'll have to trim it a little bit, but I just made sure when I sat there and designed this, I made sure it was the right height that I needed, right? Because I knew anyway I was going to trim it off, but I need a base so I can do that. And a base so that I can sit there and line these lines up like this here. Alright? So by the time I get through, you're really not going to see that or notice that because we're just going to line it up really nice so they'll be indifferent. Okay? Let's see, I need to get some edge there. Do that again. There we go. And there it goes. Yay. Alright, so you're just going to adhere it right here. Do the main thing when you do something like this, right? A tip is always at least anchor one down. So that'll be where you're going to have your focal point and what's going to be your point of reference. So that's what I've done here. So that I could turn around and just add this next to it. Just like this right here. Okay? And now it looks like I got a perfect square to start it off with. Now, I could do one, two. I could either cut this with my scissors, but I don't want to do that. I figured because I want to make sure I do it nice and square. And the only way I'm going to do it nice and square is if I take my paper trimmer out and I just do it. So all I'm going to do is line up this edge here, right here, so I can square it off. And I'm going to do the same thing at the other end. There's my square off point there. And we're just going to do the same thing. Okay? Now we got it squared off. This is how it's going to look. Now, if you want it perfectly squared, I didn't do that because I wasn't really that concerned. That is 2.5, and the height is 3 3/4. So if you wanted to make it a perfect square, then you would have to cut off some down here and up here. But I think this worked just fine when I worked with this. Put that away. Because all I was going to do is just put it like right up here on here. Now see, it's going to be lifted up a little bit. So I will need to trim it just a smidgen on each end, but that's really all I need, right? Because look at it again. You have two, when you have something like this happen, you have one of two things you can do. I can leave as is and just snip off the corners. And let me just do that just to show you how that looks, okay? So if I was just going to angle this right here, center it right there. So actually, let me center it right. That was the other big day was, do you center it this way? Or do you want to center it this way? Let me go ahead and center it this way. Now if I center it this way, that's not an issue, right? So we still have the look. Alright, but what we're going to do then, if I do it this way, then I'm going to put this up on dimensionals. And I was going to put it on dimensionals anyway, whether it gets sideways. But if you did do it side like so I was just showing you, just take your scissors once you glue it down and you're just snipping off the little edges, right? There's not much of an edge to snip off. Okay. But I originally had planned on doing it this way here. Because I can add later if I want to. If I want to add some twine, I can. There's some different other things. I'll have to see what else I have that I can add. But it just makes it easier to add it, right? So we're only going to put dimensionals. I'm going to put my dimensionals right here in the center, okay? So I'm going to put one here. I'm going to put one here. Right? Because it's going to go like that. And I can also put one here. And then I'm going to put two down here. And that way I'm just keeping it all right there on the circle. I mean, there's not that much height difference, but it is a height difference, right? Just a smidgen. I just didn't want to deal with it. So we're going to take this off. So yes, this is going to be a thank you card, right? Because I have a number of thank you cards I need to send out. And I'm just going to put it right here. Now I wouldn't mind to go that way, but you could do it the other way too, right? Nothing's ever etched in stone. It's your creation. You get to do what you want to do. So in my particular case, I wanted to do it this way. I could have easily done it the other way too. I wanted to do it this way because I wanted to put this thanks on here. And I've done thanks in 3 different colors. I did it in this color. I did this color, which that's too much, right? It's too similar. And then I've done it in this color, which I think that's going to look really nice and pop and stand out. So I'm just going to do this right here. Try it one more time, see. Let me see my other options though too, because I've already cut these to the inside, and these are 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. You know, just like this on the inside. This is leftover envelope, right? And I'm actually going to end up covering it with this here. We're not there yet, but we're going to leave a quarter, center right there, and then I have this left over here. So the idea is we were going to do thanks here. Thanks. Thanks. And thanks. It did do a cool, and see that's going to look too much like that and not really stand out. So that means this is most probably going to have to go right here, right? So it's sort of process of elimination. And we can put this one right here. Okay? So I'm going to put, just going to put that right there for the moment and leave it. Now, one other thing I wanted to show you was these were really cool when you die cut these out. If you die cut it out right, see here, it would give a nice cool look. But in order to accomplish that, you need to be sure, and I didn't do it, you need to be sure to sit up there and save these little pieces. If you can see the little die cut pieces there between the N and the A there, if you'll keep those little pieces and glue those down, then you'd be able to sit there and just put those little pieces in here, and that would give you a very cool look. I didn't save it because they were so tiny and I didn't think of it at the time, but that's just another way that you can sit there and do something like this. It just makes a difference, right? Alright, so with this now, we got this right here. I am going to go ahead and put the thanks that we want right here. Now, one of the things I could do also, and I planned on doing, is I'm going to chalk the corners here. This is a term from a previous day and time in history of my life where chalking was really, that's what the term was used then, is chalking. So I'm just going to touch the edges of these letters with some ink. And I'm just doing the edges because you can see it's not going to all be the same. But it just gives it a little the extra color so it stands out. used this a lot when I did scrapbooking, especially around corners, just about everything. Especially, yeah, I can't think of everything. We did it around words, we did it around the actual matted frames. And see, because when you do that, see how it just gives it a little extra color to help it pop a little bit more. You could also flick color on here. So if you took a blender pen and raked the wire point across the cap of the pen, then it will cause ink to flicker onto whatever you're working on, right? And that would be pretty cool. And I might go back later and do that, because I could do it across this whole thing, and that would be really cool. So I'm actually going to put this on the dimensionals, and actually I'm going to use the mini dimensionals, and what I'm really, see how small those are? So this is, mini dimensionals come in real handy for stuff like this. So I'm definitely going to do this part of the K, and we'll do the other stuff. And then we'll put it on there, and then if we want to add something else, we can. Now, if you needed just a little extra something, right, on one of the letters that hang off, keep in mind, if you need to, you can double stack dimensionals, and it gives you the height you need, if that's what you need, right? So don't just think of that. So if you need extra height for whatever reason, then you can double stack them. And let's see how this is going to look, because this is tiny, right? This is tiny. And I would have to trim it. And if I have to trim anything, that's where my paper snips come really handy, because they are very sharp. They don't mind little bitty pieces and stuff, because they really do like that. Okay, so you see some of them are going to look a little bit over, so that's what I'm going to do. Take your paper snips. So, I mean, I don't sweat this small stuff. To me, that's small stuff. So you just take your paper snips, just make sure the other layers out of the way. So you just, get what you need. Easier this way, right? We're just going to snip off what we need to snip off. These are very pointed, so if you don't think so, I will tell you to be careful, because it is easy to accidentally puncture yourself with your own paper snips, because these tips are so sharp. I know, because I've done that. Okay, I think I got everything else questioning. Alright, so we're just going to peel this off and put this on, and then we're going to tackle the inside of the card. We're just going to be very simple also. Like I said, we're just using what we've left over from before, and we're going to make it happen. Okay? So I'm going to just put this right here. And just right like that. Okay? Got my thanks on there. And let's see here. It looks like it might need to come up just a little bit. Didn't look like I have it quite straight there, because this is like not much holding it together, right? So I have to keep in mind I can easily distort it, intentionally or unintentionally. Okay, so I've got my thanks there. I think we will be sure to flex some color on here. Now we're going to open it. You have to excuse me, our air quality has not been good here, and the heat index has been very high, so allergies are on the run. Alright, so we're going to put this down right here. And again, I'm just using this. You could just as easily use the glue, right? Either or. For me, sometimes it's just whatever I have handy. And I'm just going to put this down. Now, see, so you see the seam from the envelope here, but I'm not worried about that, because it's going to be covered up, right? And I just need to make sure this is edge to edge, because I did this at 4.5 because I want to cover this all up. This I'm going to put right here. Now see how that covers it up? You don't even know it's there except for the fact that I told you. So you have to watch the video to make sure, watch whatever, to be able to know that I did this. Because nobody else knows that, right? Oh, thank you, Linda. Yeah, I'm glad you're able to join today. So this one, I'm not really stamping anything on this one, because this is where I'm going to write my note, right? But we're going to put something at the top. This is just a fun kit. You can do so many things with it. You can easily make scrapbook pages out of these. You'll hear more and more about scrapbook, because Stampin' Up! Is going to be doing some more of that stuff for scrapbooking, right? Specifically for targeting scrapbooking. For all the scrapbook lovers out there, it's going to be specifically targeted for this. So you'll see that more and more as the year comes along, most probably later in the year and all. So it's no reason why I can't gear it up for it now. Alright, so this is actually where I'm going to write my note, right? Okay, so this is going to be on the other side, and I'm actually just going to put all these thank yous right there. And you can see the adhesive on the envelope, so I just took in my leftover pieces I've done each week, and used my scraps of stuff, leftover stuff, and we're doing this. Now see, we can't even see which direction the wood's going. Originally I was going to sit there and see about matching the direction of the wood, just because I'm like that. But since we don't really have that to worry about, I would just anchor this down so it goes corner to corner. Alright, so you can see, oh, it's because I think underneath. You can see I've got it corner to corner, right? So all I'm going to do is take these here. Now these, I think I'm just going to go ahead and do with glue. I'm not going to do these with dimensionals. And we're just going to put thanks, thanks, and thanks. And so people that I owe thank you notes to, let me get my glue, they'll just have to wonder if they're going to be the lucky person to get this thank you note, or if it's going to be someone else, right? Because before the weekend's over, there'll be thank you notes going out. So, usually when I do this, I prefer to go ahead and start, wow, that's a lot of glue. I prefer to start in the center one, and work my way around it. And that way you can, it's much easier, right? To sit there and get everything sort of centered together. Alright, I had all that glue right there. I have nothing right there. Thank you. Alright, so for me it's easier just go from here to here. We know that's got to be the center point, right? So I'm just going to put this right here in the center. Alright, then we're just going to take the other ones and then spread them out behind us. So we'll just have to look out for the top one here, right? Because the fact is we got limited space before we run out of space. And I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so when I gotta put this thanks up here, this is not glued down. That's about where I want it, right? Because that's about as high as I can get, and I'm gonna run out of space, right? So we're just gonna go ahead then and put that one as far as we can go. Okay, it's right above it. So I want it to be right above this, right? So it just looks like I got a running thanks here. Get it there, and then we'll turn around, put this underneath, and we will have our thanks down. And then that's just how easy it is to make the card, right? So these were die cut, and the thing is, when you use whatever you cut it through, I was able to die cut 2 words at a time, meaning I layered the dark brown you see here, cardstock, with this cardstock here, and I die cut 2 thanks at the same time. And you can usually do that with cardstock, just depends. Most things you can. There's a few things you can't, but most you can. So there you go. I just have my thanks, 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 right? And now I get to sit there and write like whatever I want to write in here. And I fold it up, and I have the thanks on the outside too. So that's just how easy it is to create a card, right? So let's see here. Let's get back to the face. So I hope you enjoyed that. It didn't take that long to make it, right? But it definitely sends a message and a big, huge thanks to someone in your life that's done something for you. So go out there and make a difference, right? That's what it's all about. Create, share, and give to someone. And with that, be blessed. Hope to see you on Sunday when we show you the next paper pumpkin kit for the month of June. And we will have door prizes. And if you aren't following us here on Facebook, please follow us here on Facebook. We'd love for you to also follow us on YouTube, where we post our videos, and on Instagram, where we post pictures of our cars. Be blessed. Have an amazing weekend. Look forward to seeing you Sunday. Bye.